Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for all these statistics and very nicely setting the table for all to have a delicious meal, and let's see what they all get to eat. Now, this is a very interesting question, that what are the issues that the government needs to do, or the country, we need to do as a country to make sure that we are not lagging behind the way we are at the moment, as was very vividly shown by the chairman. And in spite of spending so much money, so if I were to think, there are a number of reasons, and maybe I may give a little more than three. The first thing I think was the will of the government and the non-transparency, because when you wanted to go ahead in internet access, which would, remove the digital divide and provide digital democracy in this country, you need to have the vehicle, the road for it to travel, and the road has to be either wireline or wireless. Wireline is a very costly proposition, and there is only a certain amount you can do. There are certain other areas where you cannot go. So you needed wireless. For wireless, you needed spectrum. And that spectrum took a long time being auctioned by the government. Even though it was there were a lot of non-transparent things that happened. It got played up in the press. Finally, after about a couple of years of delay, they have now auctioned the spectrum, and hopefully the broadband wireless access and the 3G services would be rolled out maybe by the end of the year, and then this will greatly empower people to take this much forward. So that, I think, was probably the reason number one. Secondly, our PSUs. Now the PSUs, BSNL, MTNL, did have the spectrum more than 2-3 years ago. But they lacked autonomy and were under a very hard hold and control of the government, again making them do things in a non-transparent and wrong manner. And even otherwise, the DNA of the PSUs is never to make money. They always lose money, and that's what's happening. And they have not been able to fulfill any of the targets, like 10 million broadband connections were to be there in 2010, and nothing that happened. We are failing miserably. But now, hopefully, with this section going to the private players who have, like Reliance, Bharti, Aircel, Ticona, who have won the spectrum, we will see a change in this also. And coming to the third one, I think literacy has got a lot to do with it, because cell phone, all you have to do is pick up, press a button and talk. When it comes to computer literacy, you have sorry. When it comes to computer literacy, you have to have a little better knowledge as to how to use the computer, and in which language is it there available in regional languages. Everybody doesn't know English. And lastly, I think I may mention affordability. The price points of these devices which are used are still not reached the level at which the common man can afford. I think I will stop it at that.
Please. Good.
Thank you for this given opportunity. Of course, I'll start with that. Everybody says that, of course, not only says, it is accepted that IT-enabled services provides improved services. Everybody accepts, even the people who don't have faith in IT, they also accept, and rather they use it. But the question is coming, why it is not happening in this country? I think I've noted down some 2-3 points. One, as per my experience, the first thing I think is that it requires a political demand for e-governance. Somehow I think it is missing. Give an example, like we have a NREGA in India for providing employment into the rural areas. It's working because there was a political demand. Right to Information Act, it's working. Now VAT came, it's working. Now GST is also coming in. Because these are the decisions taken at the political level, and they're being implemented. And there is no way any officer can say now that I'll not implement Right to Information Act. I cannot say I'll not implement NREGA, or I'll not implement the VAT. There's no way. Somehow, e-governance didn't get that type of political commitment, political demand from that sector. And for sustainability, I think that's the first requirement, that is that somehow we have to create awareness on political executive, saying that e-governance is required, and they should demand it, rather than have some bureaucrat here and there doing some good job, and the things going along with him. Second thing, there is still need for a pro-IT leaders in bureaucracy. There are people are there, a handful of people are there who are taking ahead this IT to the next levels, but not enough. Still large number of bureaucracy don't believe in the potential of IT. And it's surprising, they themselves use IT in their personal functions, like sending emails, reserving tickets through website for their travel and all that. But what comes to government sector, somehow it's their thinking is totally different. Third thing, of course, citizen demand. A awareness has to come where political demand comes out of citizen demand. If the citizens start demanding, I want a better service, it's a matter of right, I can ask for a better service. If that type of demands come from citizens through maybe NGO group or some other group, perhaps political system will judge this, the pulse of the people, that we must start demanding e-governance. And I think once they demand, I don't think any reason that bureaucracy will not be able to implement it. Bureaucracy has a lot of capabilities, they can do it. It's required question of that they should somewhere a political demand has to come for asking for e-governance in this country. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for being to the point.
Anyway, the chairman did not say that the points already mentioned should not be repeated.
No, please.
Huh? So,
Because we want to know
because
the most common reason.
yeah, when the bureaucrats talk, more or less we talk the same language. So, and I agree with Suresh Chandra. Actually, I was also thinking, normally for any government initiative, there has to be a strong political will and a commitment, along with the bureaucratic will also to execute that. Now, when we are sitting in these kind of seminars, of course, we feel that e-gov is the most important thing in reaching to the people. But when we go out and look at the real India, then we realize that this is not the priority of the government, and it cannot be the priority of the government. If we look at our country, we find that there's a big divide between the rich and the poor. Country is very vast. So if you see the statistics which you have shown, if you take, say, Canada or UK, the literacy levels are very, very high. And the basic facilities or the basic necessities of the mankind is met. Whereas if you talk of a political will, of course, suppose there's a politician who's heading an IT department or a commerce department or industries department, they can talk about, political will in implementing the e-governance initiatives. But suppose you take a minister who's talking of, say, poverty alleviation or rural development or housing, their more important priority would be to reach to the common man and see that he gets his basic, what is that, roti, kapda or makan. So taking that background, I think India has done very, very well. This IT initiatives have just come about in the last 10 years. And these last 10 years, we have definitely done very well, seeing the magnitude of the population, the illiteracy in the country, and the kind of democratic setup we have, where we have the, politicians on one side, the bureaucrats on the other side, the citizens on one side, and the IT leaders on one side. So that way, I think we have done quite a lot. But as Suresh has mentioned, to reach the people, last week I had attended the cabinet secretaries meeting where they had called all the IT secretaries and the top government officials, and there was this discussion on how to reach the citizen. And when we see from Delhi to the village, there's a lot of big gap on how they think and how it goes to the village. One of the main points what I found, is my observation in our state, is the language which we have been talking in our department. Now most of the programs are in English, and the common man would like to know or get his whatever data in the regional language. We are not able to develop the software or give the services to the common man in his regional language. And in our country, we have so many regional languages. And if you see states like Maharashtra, Karnataka, or Tamil Nadu, all the files are in the regional language. So maybe it becomes easier for such states to reach the common man to develop the software. But in Andhra Pradesh, very peculiarly, the bureaucracy functions in English still. And even the politicians write letters in English. So we are now really cut off from the common man when we are giving a service. Even if we give him an online service, at the village level, we are giving him in English, which he'll be unable to read, and he'll have to again go somewhere and get it interpreted. So probably we have to develop a software and go and reach the common man through the regional language. The second thing is, for a common man, the e-gov is not his priority again. So, but when we deliver a service to him at the doorstep, they understands the value of it. But how do we bridge the gap? How do we bring him closer to understand that this is one of the good services which will be of use to him? And that is why I think Government of India is also now talking of citizen-centric services. They are no longer interested in giving services like human resources or, financial services.